Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about hair removal. And now if you're a student studying cosmetology in school right now, we're coming from the Miladies textbook chapter 22. So there's actually two types of hair removal. There's permanent hair removal and then there's temporary hair removal. Now, what I want to tell you is when it comes to permanent hair removal, just like any other services that we do that helps with like hair growth or things like that, you never want to get into the guarantee part. And what I mean by that is you never want to guarantee that something's going to work. You can say it may help immensely with this, but never guarantee, because when you do that, you're actually setting yourself up. Setting yourself up for what? A lawsuit. So with some of the permanent hair removal techniques, it doesn't necessarily get rid of the hair permanently, but it can slow down the hair growth. So we're going to get started on that. There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Buddha. Come on, Miss Bonnie. All right, guys, so we're talking about permanent hair removal first. There's three different methods that your text talks about. There's photoepilation, there's laser hair removal, and then there's electrolysis, which electrolysis can only be performed by a licensed electrologist. The other two, photoepilation and laser hair removal, says that licensed cosmetologists and estheticians can perform these services according to their state's law. So it depends on what state you're in and if they allow it. Now, this is what I find interesting about photoepilation. Photoepilation uses intense light to destroy the hair from the hair follicle. There's no needles involved, so that leaves room for less infection because we're not puncturing anyone's skin. But it's also known as intense pulse light. But I found that interesting, and I also found it interesting that with this one particular treatment, it was the only one that said the amount of time that you would see results. So in this case, in a 12-week period, you would see 50 to 60% of hair loss, which I thought was pretty awesome. I also think it's kind of awesome and actually kind of deep that with this intense light treatment, that it doesn't say that it just destroys the hair from the follicle. What it says is that it destroys the cells that make the hair. So yeah, when you see the cells in the hair bulb and the follicle packing on, and it's packing its way up to the surface where the air hits it and it becomes a keratinized hair strand, it's stopping it where it starts. And that's pretty deep, at least I thought. Okay, laser hair removal. So in this case, a laser beam is pulsed on the skin. The recommendation is it's better for coarse, dark hair. And I'm not sure why. The only thought that I could have is you're more protected in areas where there's coarse hair covering that skin. And if the hair is finer and that laser beam is pulsating through that fine hair, you probably would be more susceptible to getting burned on your actual skin. So that destroys the hair and the hair follicle. And it says it requires specialized training. However, remember I told you licensed cosmetologists and estheticians, according to the state, can do this service. Last but not least is electrolysis. So it's actually an electric current that's being applied through a fine needle down to the hair follicle, and it destroys the hair that way. And again, like I said, it can only be performed by a licensed electrologist. So that's that for permanent hair removal, and we'll get started on temporary hair removal next.